Good morning. Looking at Matthew 7, we're kind of getting into a little bit of a new section. We saw the section on condemnation and our tendency to, could be our tendency to condemn others, judge others in a condemning way. Certainly that doesn't fit the kingdom life. Oftentimes we do that, by the way, when we don't get what we want. And oftentimes we don't get what we want because either we want the wrong thing or we are unwilling to depend upon God and his timing. And so we pick up in verse 7 and we read immediately, "Ask and it will be given to you," Jesus says. "Seek and you'll find. Knock and it will be opened to you." Ask, seek, knock. These are imperatives. Do it. Ask, pray, seek the Lord. Seek, come back to that. Knock, right? It's like this picture of going to God, going to God, going to God, seeking him, seeking him, seeking him. They're imperative, but they're also continuous verbs. Keep going. Don't quit. Don't quit. Because the life of living in God's kingdom is a life of dependence, and it's a life of persistence in that way. So there's this perseverant prayer. I want to focus for a second, though, on seek. You'll remember earlier in the Sermon on the Mount, Jesus said, "Seek first his kingdom, and all these things will be added to you." Let me share something with you. To seek first his kingdom is to acknowledge and to act as though the answers to life and the necessary resources for living are found in the kind of life that Jesus is describing. So you're seeking, you're saying yes to his kind of life. You're saying yes to the Lord. You're saying, yes, I want what you have for me. So what this means is that you and I will live a life oriented towards God in dependence on him. And that means that then we're going to repudiate a life that is without grace, meaning we're going to repudiate a life and push away from a life that's lived by our own power without accessing his power, because we know we can only live it through his power. Secondly, we're going to repudiate a life that is without guidance, not just grace, not just the power, but without guidance, without the appropriate direction, way, and principles that we ought to both live by and be directed in terms of actual direction for our living. So because we need a life of grace and because we need a life of guidance, what are we doing? Continually asking, knocking, seeking. Ask, seek, knock. Ask, seek, knock. Let that be the continuous posture of your heart in dependence upon your Father as you seek to live in his kingdom. Take care.